So here we have it. This is the finished Katana Footswitch pedal. 4 buttons, 4 sounds it selects. There's 2 relays inside, an Arduino, and a big mess of wires. Wooden box painted black to match the Katana color. There's an input for a stereo cable, which is what gives what is on the Katana back for the analog foot switch. No metal, no MIDI magic going on here, and a 9-volt input. So I made it so that yes, it can be powered by the regular guitar input power, typically the 9 volts. Inside the Arduino can also be powered directly by the USB, but I didn't make the hole for that. This is the box, wooden box, how it looks like, and the bottom, and I will show it now how it works. So I'll do a little demo. So I recorded here. I have here a looper pedal. So this takes inputs from the guitar. It records like a few seconds of the guitar and then plays it, repeating it. So I have the volume down. If I put the volume up, this is what I recorded. Okay, so let's connect this up. This cable is from the Katana Footswitch input. There's the pedal, the Boss and Roland has a pedal which allows to use this also to Footswitch. They also sell a Footswitch for this amplifier for the Katana. By the way, the black is to match the Katana color. But again, I mentioned in another video, it has only two foot switches. Okay, so now let's power it up. A 9-volt input. So notice at first it will do a little bit of a LED dance. It's unnecessary. It's just for starting up. So you saw that. Which might remind you of something. This movie where there was a car that talked to the guy. I guess the future of AI coming early. So what does this do? Like the previous versions I've showed, it changes channels. Clean channel here. Distortion. It's the same channel. This one is the same channel as this one with the flanger on top. And you will see in a second, this is actually an important thing. And this is just a bass octave sound. Okay, so features. When we turn it off and on, so kind of taking this jack off and putting it back, it will remember the last sound you had on, because maybe you want to go back to the previous sound you were just working on. Then the special feature. So, and besides that, it changes, of course, channels, as you saw. Now the special feature. So in the meanwhile, I realized that these are momentary switches. So these are switches that when I press down, they don't stay stuck, and then I have to press down again to do on and off. So they actually, when I press down, they make a contact when they are down. When I let them go, they actually release that and they are not in contact anymore. So right now they are just, when I pressed, they select the channel and that's it. But I went and did something else, which is, what if I'm playing in a song and I want something like a specific sound which goes on for a few seconds, like a flanger or like a stutter pedal or like a dive kind of sound, like something special just as a passage towards the next section. But I want that so that I don't want to be selecting a whole thing and then going back to it. So I just wanted to press it, activate, release it, and go back to the previous one. So I actually programmed this into here. I've made it so that we can program without connecting the USB here and rerunning and changing the software and uploading the software. We can just program it directly on the box. So the way to program it, I will try to show you, is to press the 4 buttons. There's still, I have to press, there you go. When I press the 4 at the same time, the lights first go off and then it starts to come this blinking. It's just randomly blinking to different ones. So let's say we want this to be momentarily. So let's press that. Okay. And now let's see if it works, right? So we are on this channel, the distortion, and then we click on it, it plays this special thing, we let it go and goes back to the other one. Notice, so it works. Notice that it remembers the last one pressed. So let's say I'm on the second, I go to that one, I go back, it goes back to the previous one that was selected. So it kind of remembers where we were, and because that's the point. That's when you do this special effect for a few seconds, we want to go back to the previous sound you had. We can make any button to be the temporary. So let's say, let me show you just the audio first to see that it actually works. So we have here the distortion. And this is the same one with the flanger. So when I press it, it will change channel effectively, but it will make this flanger sound go off, like just a temporary thing. Okay, so this can be programmed into any kind of foot switch, actually. That's why the programming thing. And you can turn it off and on. So let me show you again, going into programming mode. So now it's programming. It says select whatever you want. Let's say we don't want this one to be momentarily anymore. Okay, so we now go to it and it stays. And now we want to say, for example, second to be the momentarily one. So we do again this, starts to do the blinking. And and now this is the momentarily. So we are on this channel. So this is a clean one. This is flanger. So this was originally the momentarily. And as you heard now, it went to this one for just a few seconds. Okay. The other interesting thing is that it remembers what you did. So let's say we have now, this one is the temporarily, and this is the stable one. So let's turn it off and on, and we'll see. Hopefully it will work. So it should remember both the last setting you had, and it should remember what buttons are momentarily and which buttons are not momentarily. So let's power it back up. We see the so it remembered that that one was the last one selected, and this one is the momentarily one. Yeah, and it works as expected. So yeah, that is the latest iteration of the Katana foot pedal. It's still not as slim. It's a little bit higher than a regular pedal, as you can see. Actually, there's still space in the box, so I could potentially make another box or make it a little bit slimmer there. But it's not too bad, though. It's not too bad. I don't know. I think I won't have. It will work for me. And yeah, bonus feature is there's more. No, not really. Just so bonus feature. If you need some Christmas lights at home, just make it go into programming mode. And that's it. Done.